Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this from Bound into Comics. John Campea goes on an Unhinged Rant, call his subscribers racists, demands over 30,000 of them unsubscribe over race swapping of Astrid in, quote, How to Train Your Dragon, end quote. Well, let's just go on and say it from the get-go that this is akin to saying, we was Vikings and shit. Because I can guarantee to you there were no fucking black Vikings, no sub-Saharan Vikings. Just like there were no goddamn fucking sub-Saharan, no Vikings in sub-Saharan culture. There were no goddamn fucking blonde white guys with Viking armor in there. Because there was no contact between sub-Saharan Africa with Europe, Mediterranean, and Asia. Simple as that. Why? I say that because apparently I need to keep this goddamn fucking map on my goddamn fucking browser lately because there's a lot of goddamn fucking retarded race swaps going on lately. Here, as you can see, this one is the world according to Eratosthenes. You can see here that the maps in this region of Italy and Mediterranean, you can see the details is quite remarkably better than, say, in Britain, in the UK, etc. Why? Because this was the known region around that time, even 500, 700 years or 800 years later. Which more or less coincides with the Viking time, because this one is still 220 before the year 0, but still. It didn't change much in the knowledge back in the day, because there was a big fat thing called... Well, let's just say a big fat thing called the goddamn fucking desert. Here, separating the world, so... A race swap is not historically accurate, and you are not only not respecting the lore, you're not respecting history, you're not respecting the race you're race swapping the character to, but you're also not respecting the viewers. You're also saying that, oh my god, black people need so much help, they can only succeed with scrap rolls and what we generously give them. Yeah, that's what you're trying to tell people when you race swap a character. You have no respect for anything. You're just a shit person. Right, let's see what the Unhinged guy was doing. YouTuber John Campea went ballistic on people criticizing the race swap of Astrid in the upcoming How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, because this guy here is a retard. Anyway, let's see. Astrid was originally a character to the film series with author Cressida Conwell, noting back in 2016 that the character bears a strong resemblance to Kamikaze. Kamikaze? Anyway. Oh, say Astrid bears a strong resemblance to Kamikaze. As described in How to Train Your Dragon, Kamikaze was a small girl with a wild blonde hair and a ferocious expression. Right. Dreamworks' official website also notes that Astrid has blonde hair, blue eyes, and is clearly white. Well, she's clearly Viking, so... Or in this case, Scandinavian. Why would you want to cast her as somebody that I absolutely hated in The Last of Us? It was all about, hey, me, it's all about me in The Last of Us. Well, technically, The Last of Us only watched one episode, and that's all I could stomach. That's how bad it was. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. It's bad. Actors, bad writing, everything was bad. And I just couldn't do it. And then the sore thumbs of race swaps and the masculinizing Joel and things like that. Couldn't do it. Anyway, Parker, who plays a race swap Sarah Miller, The HBO The Last of Us adaptation does not look like anything like Astrid from the original animated films. Reacting to his subscribers, video unavailable, was removed by the uploader, of course. To his subscribers taking the issue with the race swap, Astrid Campea lashed out at them. He began, I was going through some of the comments on some of the videos today, and I was starting out to see that there are a bunch of comments on the girl being it, and people complain that this hot strange dragon thing is already ruined because they changed Astrid. Because they changed Astrid, and because they changed Astrid, that means the thing was a complete disaster. It was ruined, destined to fail because they changed Astrid. Yeah. It's destined to fail because they changed Astrid. We already know they have no respect for the character, for the lore, for the story, so we are pretty much guaranteed that the film is going to suck. It's not going to represent the goddamn fucking character. It's not going to represent anything else. It's not going to do anything else. It's going to be a disaster. Why do you insist on that? Anyway, before I continue, here's a trailer. Here we are. He continued, I thought it was interesting. I thought that was interesting because, you felt goddamn well that if Astrid's supposed to be 5'3" and they cast a girl who was 5'4.5", that's a significant change, but nobody would have said anything. They wouldn't have said a thing. No, you fucking moron. That's not a significant change, you absolute troglodyte. That's a small change that it is within the acceptable parameters of a change. You moron. What you're doing with the race swap, you are actually changing the story. You are changing everything, like gender change. That's a massive change. Oh, also, yes, not only that, changing the sexuality of a character, that's a massive change, you moron, you absolute retard. Right. If Astrid's supposed to have hazel brown eyes, but they cast an actress who had a walnut brown eyes, well, that's a change, but full goddamn well they wouldn't have complained about it. Wouldn't have said a thing, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that change. Yes, there is nothing wrong with that change. Obviously, it's not going to reflect the character as it is, but that wouldn't change. That you can actually change with the lenses. That is a simple change. You cannot really paint a girl white and add her blonde hair and look okay. You can't change the bone structure or anything like that. Especially because this is historical revisionism. Obviously, this thing is in a fantastical world with dragons. But race swapping a character, let's go on and full on and add a goddamn fucking F-15 in there. Since we are doing any absurd changes like that. Well, you're not going to expect to find a blonde, blue-eyed guy in a story that happens... Sorry, allergies. Back. You're not going to expect to find a blonde, blue-eyed guy in a story or in folklore or a tale that happens, I don't know, in the year 500 in the middle of sub-Saharan Africa. It's just retarded, and I'm pretty sure this idiot here will throw a temper tantrum if something like that happened. I'm pretty sure of it. If in the movie Astrid was supposed to be right-handed and they had the audacity to hire an actress who was right-handed, well, that's a change, it's a change, you know goddamn well. They wouldn't have said a thing about it because that's fine. Those are small changes that are within the parameters of acceptability. You moron. But no, he likes to grasp at straws. He likes to use red herrings. He loves to do, well, logical fallacies, because his argument cannot stand the scrutiny of a good, reasonable, and logical argument. That's why he's acting like that. Campea then made it clear he was addressing individuals criticizing the race replacement. But, oh my god, if you're a girl who gets the pigmentation of her skin tone in a lightly different than Astrid is, and then by the way, Astrid who comes from a completely mythological fairy tale, non-existent, completely made up on a fiction race of people of Viking, and Vikings don't really exist. Why didn't he say that when people were crying about Moana? Who even got an actor to actually drop his job or his acting or his role from the movie. No, he wouldn't, would he? That's interesting, isn't it? But here, it's a very big thing, because you are actually race swapping a character that it has a historical basis on the Vikings. Like I said, I don't think it would be okay to actually see a blonde, blue-eyed guy on a fairy tale or a story or a myth or a retelling of something that happens in sub-Saharan Africa in the year 800. It wouldn't be right. I'm looking at you, goddamn fucking Last Kingdom with the Father Benedict. That guy stands like a goddamn fucking sword thumb. Who's in with pus? And nobody in there even comment on how different he looks from everybody else. Trust me, in that time, you would. In fact, that's how they actually painted most of the people who you see that are painted as black in some painting. No, that's because they didn't even know what that color is or never seen anybody different. Because the distances back then, if you really force yourself, you could get from London to, I don't know, York in a week, if you forced yourself. But generally, it would take far longer than that. Traveling wasn't easy. So for instance, when somebody said, I saw an individual, his skin was so dark. Yeah. It would be very dark for the person who was in Europe and never seen anybody else who was, I don't know, a slightly darker shade of skin. Say, somebody from Italy. And southern Italy, they'll say, oh my god, this guy is so dark. Yeah. Because they never seen anybody like that back then. The distances were massive for humans back then. It's not like you could actually grab a plane, fly from one place into another and call it a day. No, of course not. It's the distance. It's during that time. Today, if you're going to cast somebody, I don't know, in America, yes, you would expect somebody to have a black person in there. That's not completely out of the ordinary or anything like that. That's completely normal. If you're based in a story, say a fairy tale in the American continent, and it happens, I don't know, in New York or cosmopolitan city, yeah, you will expect to find Asians, Latinos, black people, Italians, Russians, all of that in the middle. And that would be completely and utterly fine, but no, we are actually doing a fairy tale here that happens in Europe, based on the Vikings, so you are basically trying to tell you that it is a story that kind of happens during that time. A time when distances were a bit difficult. And why not? Hey, if you're going to race swap a character, why not add a goddamn fucking F-15 with an AR-15 in there? Why would that be so prohibitive? Why would that be so wrong, John? Why can't you explain that to me? I think you would be okay with it. I think you should even promote that type of movie. How to Train Your Dragon with an AR-15. If you don't say anything but glowing reviews of that movie, then you're a hypocrite. In that goddamn fucking hell, you goddamn fucking retards who absolutely love those retarded takes. Have a great fucking night.